Hey guys, welcome to another Let's Play on Minecraft. Starting back where we were before when we were filling in the glass, I'm just going to kind of do the outside like that and finish more of the building. And then this episode will definitely move on to like the basement area that I was talking about making it into a underground garden. And that's gonna take a while. So that alone is probably gonna be somewhere around like 10 episodes. I'm taking a shot at what I think it's gonna be. Whoops. But it might be longer, or there might be more, or there might be less. I don't really know at this point. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy these videos. Like and subscribe, and comment. Definitely comment. I need some feedback. Definitely get very little views, and the few views I get, I don't get any comments, and that is really hard because I need some comments to kind of just get an idea of what people want to see more, you know? I mean, I know what I like to do, but okay. But definitely want to get done with this, and I might definitely speed this part up because I really want to get started on the build of that underground garden. That's gonna kind of be like the, I don't know, as some people might say, the steak and potatoes of my channel. That's what mainly what it's gonna be about, is kind of the details, not really the main building aspects. That's why it's a Let's Play, but it doesn't necessarily follow everything that a Let's Play probably follows in some people's perspective of what Let's Plays are. But needless to say, it will be enjoyable. I will assure you that. I will make it fun, and there will always be something new and exciting to either learn or just find out from somebody else's perspective. I realized one of the mistakes I made in my last video, which was I didn't add this upper part, so sorry. Anyways, there we go. Whoops. Okay. And then once I get done with this, like I said, I want to move immediately down there, like so. As soon as I get all the glass and the exterior of the structure done, I'm gonna move right down there. Like, we're not gonna do anything with the levels because the levels are gonna be other episodes. So and I like to kind of do things from the bottom to the top, so but I like to have a structure before I start building what's going to be under that said structure. So that's why we're building the entire outside of the building, and then we will build the basement to the very tippy top floor, which I don't know what they're going to be at this point, We'll find out as we go. If you guys leave some comments, I can probably incorporate some of your guys' ideas into this build, and then it'll kind of be like a community build. It's kind of what I want to do, but I'm just waiting on people to make comments. But I'm definitely not going to stop uploading because I don't know, I have plenty of ideas myself. I don't know, I'm trying to interact, because sometimes it's not always fun just thinking what's fun in your head. You want to see what other people think about it, not just what you think about it. Okay, well, definitely getting done. Moving a lot faster than we were last night. Okay. And we're going to hopefully get a lot more done on this episode in a shorter period of time, because last time was extremely slow. It felt like just drug on and on and on. Anyhow, but I'm going to try and speed things up just a hair and get it done, and then I will definitely for sure get to that basement like I want to. I know I'm repeating myself a lot. It's just a kind of a repetitive thing that I do to get myself to go faster, and it works for me. Okay, get some glass. Okay, whoops. As you can tell, I'm not perfect with it. It's not like I can move it like Mach speed. But I think I can move fast enough, fast enough to appease myself. And this underground build's gonna have to go down pretty deep, because it's gonna have to be huge and have really, really tall. So it's definitely gonna take some time, because I don't know what's under this building. Like, I didn't explore underneath to make sure that I was gonna have the perfect conditions to build underneath there. I'm just working with whatever's under there, so we'll see. And then also being dark down there, that's going to be a major challenge. Which, hopefully the video turns out well, even though it's going to be dark, because, well, unfortunately, that's just how it's going to be. Because I like to shoot things just kind of realistically, so people know how time passes through my builds, so that they don't just see, oh, it's day all the time, or whatever. I like to have day-night builds, because I have it set on a setting where it's pretty bright at night, so you can see different aspects of the build, even though it happens to be night. I might add some lights in the building before I start. Just kind of randomly, just to keep it bright. And then step off and look at it and see what I think. But other than that, I'm pretty much not going to do anything at all with the interior. Alrighty. Whew. Taking longer than I thought. I was hoping to be done with it by now. Because I kind of want to keep, you know, it to a 30-minute, 40-minute basis. Because it takes forever to upload these videos when they're like hours and hours and hours long. So but I think the building's turning out to be pretty cool for a square. You know, I know it doesn't have a lot of shape and there's not a lot going on. But, you know, with more episodes and whatnot, there will be more. And the episode directly after we get the garden series done, then we'll move on to the part where we kind of dress up the outside of the building. And mainly I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. I definitely want to have 2 ways to go downstairs, and I'm really big on having things symmetrical, so they're definitely going to be 3 high, and I guess they can only be 2 wide to be symmetrical within the building. We're going to go back. Whoops. 3, 4, oops, 5, alrighty. And I know it's dark on here, but as you can see, it's pretty light on my game, so it's not like so dark that I can't see anything. And then I am going to get rid of this and get some torches for now. We're going to light things up with torches. And I like to set torches in a sequential pattern, like if I go 5 in between, then I'll go 5 every time. You know, at least I'll try to. Sometimes I'll make mistakes, but for the most part, that's how I like to keep it. And then we're just going to kind of start going down. And we'll go down that far. And then, let's see. We're 3 high. Go 3 high again. 1, 2, 3. 3. And just enough 1 block past where it comes down, because it won't be 1 block path, and then just start digging straight, and those hallways will meet up in the same area is my intention. and then we'll have one main hallway going down. It's kind of just a way of keeping volume down on one stairway, and then having multiple ways to get down there. I don't know why, but I've always liked stairwells like that. Oh, whoops, I think I went... Yep, I did go too deep. Ah, that's okay. Do I want it only that wide? Well, that's going to be super crowded. I'm actually going to make this wider by 2. And then I might actually, being that this is an office building, I might on this side of the wall and at this level down add elevators here at a later date. I'm not going to do that right now because that's just kind of counterproductive to what we're doing. I'm just trying to get the space ready and down to where we're actually underneath the building, kind of, sort of, per se. And I'm just replacing these blocks with stone. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the texture that it's going to be at the end. It's just I'm trying to get it all into something standard so it looks more uniform, kind of particular about stuff like that. But what I will say is that when we are finally down there, you know, this is technically part of building the greenhouse underneath the building, because it's part of the steps of getting there. I know, even though it's actually technically not. And I've decided against this. I'm going to delete one block off each level so that there won't be that like that, because I just realized you would step right down into that. So it'll actually be 2 blocks back. And then we'll add the quartz steps coming down. Whoops. And again. And that actually might be my accent color, quartz, because it needs to be bright down here. And stone is not a good reflector of light by any means. I might do some design, like I'm thinking of one right now, where I kind of don't do solid white. Let's check out some textures. And as everybody, just so everybody knows, these go completely unscripted. I don't think about these, and I know it might come across that way, but it's just to kind of get the more reality out of Minecraft. I mean, if you're not a super big fan of that, I'm sorry, but I am, and that's kind of how my Let's Plays are going to go all the time. In the future, there might be a chance where I actually stop doing that, but for right now, just based off of how I like playing the game, it's probably going to be that way. And I think I'm going to do kind of a bright color. We'll see how it works out. No, I'm going to do it more of a dark green wool. And I'm going to get rid of... what do I need to get rid of? Okay. I'm not going to use those... I'm going to get rid of those. Alrighty. And actually switch that around again. Okay. And I like to add depth, so there'll usually be multiple layers to how I build things. And I understand that this is going to take away from the center most part. Okay, so we're definitely not going to have that or that. Okay, and as you can see, we're directly underneath. So I'm gonna go all the way until I get to the end of the foundation, and I'm gonna do that all the ways I can, every which way I can. And then if it opens up where you can see under here, I'm going to block that off later on. I might not do that in this episode because we're hitting the 20-minute mark, which in my opinion is nearing the end of my episode's length, because it gets pretty lengthy. I definitely need to add some light down here. Okay. Definitely need to add some light. We're going to kind of do the reversed effect where this is in depth here, but it's going to be extruded in here instead of introverted like the white walls are going to be. And for future reference, these builds are not to impress or be like, oh wow, or anything. I'm just building these and showing people what I like to build. So definitely not a competition factor to it. In the future, I might do some competition builds because I've heard that they can be popular and whatnot. But for right now, these are just Let's Plays that just kind of play through the game. Whoops. Actually, you know what? That's probably a better spot for it anyhow. I'm going to do these every one because it's dark back here and I need some light. Okay. And then once we finally finish like this hallway, because I just realized what I'm doing is completely unnecessary right now because I haven't found all the edges, and that's what I needed these for, was for all the edges, to find the edge of the building to a certain extent backwards. So I should just be clearing at this point, getting ahead of myself. As you can tell, completely unscripted. Okay, so definitely need to go probably 2 more blocks that way before we can go that far back. So have one of those, and one of those, and then one of those. Okay. Now we should be good. Shouldn't run into any problems going to the edge of the building this way. Whoops. Oh. Great. I'm not going to be doing anything with cobblestone down here anytime soon. Maybe if I get the right color. Is that possible? Could I get the right color? There we go. Okay, and then once we meet the edge of the building, then we're kind of just going to go down from there and just speedily crunch through everything to speed everything up. Because this is the boring process of everything. And just so you know, this garden is going to be massive in height, and this is definitely not as deep as it's going to go. So I figured I'd just make that clear. I made steps down because instead of making an elevator at the top, which I wasn't going to have space for, the only way you're going to be able to get down into this is in an elevator. Like, there's not going to be steps because it's just too much to figure out steps to go down this far as I'm planning on going. So once we get that far down, we will definitely have an understanding of what I mean. Because I want to be able to grow like any kind of tree, like not just oak trees that are short and stubby and whatnot. I want to be able to grow any kind of tree and still have plenty of space away from the ceiling as much as possible. But what I'm learning is that this would be a really small garden if it was only this big. Like, this is definitely not big enough. This building is way too small to just house a large garden like that with trees that big in such a small square footprint. It's gonna look so choppy. So we're probably gonna end up making it bigger, but not until we go deeper, because this is definitely not deep enough. So what can I do? Well, for one, I can finish that. Okay. And you're gonna notice that I really like quartz, so I'm gonna incorporate it in a lot of things because it lightens up things a lot better. Obviously, because it's white, so it reflects colors better than other things that are not white. Okay. Okay, definitely have to keep that color. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of our entrance. And just for the sake of uniformity, we're going to make that white along with this. And then once we get this done, we'll try and get at least these walls done this episode. And then if I do more, it's going to be cut into another episode because it's just going to be too long if I try to do this whole entire and I don't know exactly where I'm going to place the elevator, so oops. Definitely gonna do wood on this floor. I think it would look better. Wouldn't look so similar. And it would tie the building in a little bit better, I think. The upstairs. Even though it's gonna darken the room a lot, I still think it's the better choice. Okay, and essentially what this space is gonna kind of be like a viewing down into it. So, 1, 2, 3. So, whoops. Okay, actually, let's go 2 because I want it to be a bigger viewing area. So you can kind of peer down into it quite easily. So this will quite literally be all the space beneath this point will be opening up. I don't know how far down I'm going to have to go before I can start opening it up, you know, as wide as I want to or need to. It's going to kind of be like a cavern type design garden, and I'm going to have an extremely fun time figuring out how to light up so much space. But you know what? I think it's doable. I've done larger cavern type underground plantations is what I'm going to call them before, / greenhouses, or whatever you choose to call them. When I think of a plantation, I think of bananas, so that's probably why I don't necessarily want to call it that. But anyhow, I'm just trying to get some new ideas out there that are exciting. And I definitely like that update. Being able to place the torches in the same block, that is something I like. It makes me being uniform life so much easier. Whereas before it was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. You'll build a uniform room, but you can't have uniform lighting. And it's like, oh my gosh. But the things you have to sacrifice. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna end the episode here. Anyways, sorry to end it so abruptly. Yeah, guys, as you can see, we got our stairwells done, and we got the outside of our building done. No decorations, of course, just strictly the building. And I'm gonna go around and check everything, make sure it's up to par, like what I want. Okay, definitely liking that. And then before I leave, there'll be some changes to this roof area. It's gonna have like it's gonna be like a bungalow up here, so definitely gonna be interesting. And then obviously, as you know, we didn't add any like way to get to all the other floors, and I realize that, but that's all gonna happen later, because those I consider the boring things of building, and I'm kind of doing the more interesting parts that I like. And anyways, as always, comment, like, and subscribe, and have a wonderful rest of your day.